Hello, Polar Bear fans. We are here at DU Ice Arena. Here, there we go. Switch it over to the headset here. We're live from Joyburn's Ice Arena here on the campus of DU. Ready to bring you the Polar Bears versus the Storm. We'll just get things set up here for you in a moment. Polar Bears will be in the home white jerseys. The Storm will be in the away purple jerseys. With the gray trim. All right, ready to get things underway here from Joyburn's Ice Arena. All right, we'll start off with Rose to take the draw, and we're underway here. Rose out there with Urban and DeFelice. Looks like Brennick and Arena back at D. Puck's played down in the corner. Brennick picks it up there. Brennick slides with it, leaves to Arena. Controlled there by the Storm. They work it back to the point. Shot towards the net. Save. And save on the initial one. Goal on the rebound there by the Storm. That's Nichols in net here. So Storm take a 1-0 lead with 14:32 here to go. First period. So Rose, Urban, and DeFelice. Rose to take the draw. Played into the zone by the Storm. Storm work it wide. Try and play it out front. That's broken up by Brennick. Brennick now plays it through one. Up ahead to DeFelice. DeFelice gets the blue line. DeFelice has Rose driving to the front of the net. Picked off there by the Storm. Rose throws it in towards the net. And Storm will come back the other way with it. Storm into the zone, 1-on-3. Sidesteps around one player, 2. Shot. And apparently a goal. All right, Anilovich here to take the draw. Plays it far side out of the reach of Arnold. Arnold goes down, back to Jones. Jones plays across to Suchek. Or sorry, that's Arena. Picked up there by Jones. Tried to play out of the zone. Picked off there by the Storm. No, regroup now at center. Storm will regroup, enter the zone. Centered across. That goes through the crease. Picked up there by Arnold. Arnold plays it ahead. Icing's waved off on the tip. Storm go back there to pick it up. All right, centered out front. Picked off there. Jones holds it down low. Jones able to hold the line for a moment. And Jones able to hold, plays it down low. Puck comes back to the blue line and out the center. Storm come back the other way. Shot towards the net, steered aside by Nichols. Centered out front by the Storm. That's picked off there by Arena. And Klontz has it now. Klontz gets the blue line, stolen by the Storm. Storm trying to catch the Polar Bears on a change. Good play there by Suchek to break that up. And that's going to go all the way down. And that'll be an icing. So we're going to face off back in the Polar Bear zone here. 12:19 to go first period. Storm up 2-0. Face off one there, picked up by Klontz. Klontz will skate with it now. Klontz gets the blue, or gets the red line, has the Storm there. Suchek works it back to her D. On the stick of Brennick. Brennick goes back to Schmishik. Schmishik up ahead. Just out of the reach of Eaton, and Storm are going to come back the other way. Nice step up there by Williams. Shot towards the net and held by Nichols. 11:43 here to go first period. Polar Bears down 2. Get a line change here. Jones and Arena coming out, and looks like we have Hunt to take the draw. One there by the Storm, back to the point. Storm work it, top of the dots. Shot, save, rebound, puck's loose. Taken out of harm's way there by the Polar Bears, centered out front. Arena had her player tied up. Played down low. Hunt will pick it up there. Sorry, that's Williams. Williams will skate with it now. Williams has it taken off her stick. Williams plays it back into the Polar Bear zone. Picked up there by Jones. Jones goes up ahead to Hunt. Hunt plays it ahead. Stolen there by the Storm, though. And they'll look to come back the other way. Picked off by Williams. Played into the zone. Arena picks it up now. Arena gets the red line. Looks to take it wide. Arena throws on the brakes. Has it taken off her stick. Puck comes out to center. It'll be picked up there by Jones. Jones plays it back to Rose. Rose enters the zone, 1-on-5, shot. Knocked down on the way to the net by the Storm defender. Dug out there. And Storm will look to play it out the center. Picked up there by Brennick. Brennick tries to play it into the zone. Picked off there by the Storm. And Storm play it ahead. Picked off there by Schmishik. Storm intercept. They try and center out front. That's broken up. Brennick now plays it ahead to DeFelice. DeFelice not able to clear the zone, though. We'll go back into the Polar Bear zone. Played behind the net by Rose. Rose plays it up to DeFelice. DeFelice tries to play it out. Picked off there by the Storm. Brennick plays it around behind. Storm look to center it out front now. Set up shot behind net. They'll leave it behind. Schmishik ties up with a player there. Dug out there by Scarlett. Back to the point. Work D to D at the point. Picked off in front. And is picked off there by Rose. Rose brings it into the zone. Sorry, that's Brennick. Brennick drops for Rose. Picked off there. Rose digs it out for a moment. Now the Storm are able to play it back up and out the center. Picked off there by Jones. Jones leaves for Rose. Rose will reverse course. Rose up ahead. And that pass just out of the reach of Arnold. So with 8:59 here to go, first period, faceoff will come back into the Polar Bear zone. All right, face-off won there by the Storm. Towards the net, that's gloved and held by Nichols. Yeah. Oh. Picked off there. Brought into the zone. Anilovic pauses with it. Shot towards the net. And a save by the goaltender. We've got the clock synced up here. .8:40 here to go first period. Anilovic to take the draw. Puck's played down low. Arnold gives chase. Cuts it off. Storm. They'll try and reverse now. Anilovic will try and cut that off as the Storm look to start their breakout. Now they do. They come to the neutral zone with speed onside at the line. Arena forces a player wide. Centered out front. Broken up there by the Storm. And Arnold able to play it out to center. Storm will regroup in their own zone. Played back off the stick of Brennett into the Polar Bears zone. Brennett plays it up the near boards here. Stolen by the Storm. They're able to keep it in. Storm with possession in the zone. Storm looking to work it out front. Poke checked away by Arnold. Shot. Steered aside and held there by Nichols. So face off in the Polar Bear zone here, 7:39 to go first period. Klonks to take the draw. Tied up along the boards. Storm get possession. Suchek battle on the boards. Played around behind. Klonks overskates for a moment. Recovers. Tries to chip it up the board, stolen there by the Storm. They look to work it back out into the slot. Played out front, picked off there by Brennick. Brennick will skate with it now. Brennick in her own zone. Goes up ahead, past the stick of Eaton. And back out to center. Picked up there by the Storm. They'll bring it back in onside. Schmishik picks it up now on her back end. Schmishik trying to get it out. Unable to though. Storm get possession. Walk it, top of the dot, shot. High and wide there. Suchek skates over there. Played back into the zone by the Storm. Brennick will pick it up there, shovels it ahead to Eaton. Eaton tries to play it out. Thwarted there, picked up by Brennick. Brennick plays it across. And Storm will check up there, make sure everybody's on side. Played ahead by Klontz. And now the Storm get possession in the zone. Storm bringing in the zone now. They'll take it wide. Brennick forcing the player wide. Williams comes in to support, and Williams will come out with it. Williams sidesteps one. Hits the zone, 1-on-4. Williams tries to play it in. Picked off there by the Storm, though. And they'll come back the other way with it. Storm enter the zone. Forced wide by Arena. Back to the point. Shot towards the net. And off the post. Through traffic. I don't know that Nichols ever saw that one. Off a skate. Picked up there by the Storm in the slot. Shot. Tied up there, and now it's going to be picked up by Dolan. Played ahead. And back into the Polar Bear zone. Shot wide of the net. Jones goes back there, leaves for Arena. Arena now Little head bob there. And able to break it out. Get it back to the neutral zone. She gets the red line, plays it in. Arena absorbs the body contact there. And played around back behind. DeFelice in on the forecheck. Centered out front. Polar Bears were changing though. Storm will come back the other way. Storm, top team in the league so far. Brennick ties it up, rolls in on the goaltender, and the goaltender Nichols will cover. 4:33 here to go, first period. Face-off will be in the Polar Bear zone. All right, face-off won there by the Storm. Work back to the point. Just out of the reach of Rose, walked into the slot, shot, saved by Nichols, and Nichols will cover. Nice stop there by Nichols. Shots on goal, 12-2 in favor of the Storm here through this first period. Draw one and picked up there by the Polar Bears. Worked across to Clontz, up ahead to DeFelice. Played up. Rose tries to play it out of the zone, taking off her stick. Storm will come back the other way. Storm try and center it out front. That's broken up by the stick of Brennick. Brennick plays it up ahead to Rose. Rose turns the player inside out at the red line. Rose comes in, shot on net, and a save by the goaltender. So good shot on net there by Rose. All right, Rose to take the offensive zone draw. Rose, DeFelice, and Dolan out there now. Back to the point. In the skates of Brennick. Tough pass to handle there. Brennick will regroup in the Polar Bear zone. Brennick tries to play it ahead to Arnold. Stolen there by the Storm. They'll play him in the zone. Schmishik ties up with a player there. Arnold tries to dig it out. Dug out now by Anilovich. Anilovich now. Plays it across. Held in at the line by the Storm. Off the stick of Dolan. Played down low. Brennick will pick it up there. And played up ahead. Anilovich now has Arnold with her. Trying to catch the Storm on a change. Anilovich takes it wide. Tries to center it out front. Picked off there by the Storm. Arnold was tied up out front though, and Storm are coming back the other way. Shot blocked down there by Brennick. Played around behind. Jones plays it up ahead in the skates of Arnold. Tied up along the boards. Anilovich able to dig it out. Jones comes in to support. Jones plays it near side to Dolan. And Storm get it back to the point. Storm work at D-to-D at the point. Knocked down by the stick of Dolan. Stolen there by Anilovich. Drop ahead to Arnold. Arnold chips it around a player. She'll give chase. Storm able to get possession of that though. Storm are coming back the other way. Storm get the blue line. Played off the boards. Up and not out. Held in there by the Storm. Storm work it back into the slot. And Storm take a 3-0 lead here with 1:41 here to go in the first period. Quantz, Eaton, Suchek out there, Smishik, and Brennick. Klons to take the draw, wins it back to Brennick. Brennick, she'll spin with it. Brennick up ahead to Klons. Klons tries to play it across. Broken up there by the Storm. Stolen there by the Storm. Mishik blows the tire. Shot off the mask. And played up and out by Eaton. Suchek in on the forecheck. Held at the line there by Klontz. And now the Storm are coming back the other way. Storm on sides at the line. Shot. Blocked down by Brennick. Suchek tries to dig it out along the boards. Dug out by the Storm, though. They walk it into the slot. Shot wide of the net. Storm walk it back into the slot. Back to the point. They'll go D to D. Picked off there for a moment by Eaton. Storm will regroup now in their own zone. Eaton plays it into the zone, and Storm will come back with it the other way. Nice back check there by Williams to break that up. Storm walk it in, shot, blocked off the stick of Brennick. Never made it to the net. Brennick been very active with that stick. Picked up now, Williams. Williams plays it wide, plays in the zone, and that'll do it for one period of play. All right, at the end of one, shots to go 14-3 in favor of the Storm, which sounds bad, but honestly not as bad as it could have been, as I watched the Storm put, I think, 73 shots on goal on a team 2 weeks ago, so... Relatively speaking, 14 in one period, not terrible. So to put things in perspective, guys, this Storm team has outscored teams 38-8 so far this season. All right, Rose to take the draw, wins it back. Stolen there by the Storm. They play it into the zone. Jones plays it up ahead to the point, not out. Shot wide of the net. Brennick ties the player up there. Jones plays it up and out to center. Storm will have to regroup there. They'll work it back, D-to-D in their own zone. Storm play it ahead now. Played across out of the reach of Arena. And Arena will skate with it now. Rose backhands it out to center. Picked up there by the Storm. And we got a penalty coming up on the Storm here. Looks like a hooking call on the Storm. So Polar Bears to the power play here. DeFelice to take the draw. Storm win that. And they'll play it off the dasher. That's a hard clear. Picked up there by Brennick. Brennick has one player on her, spins out of trouble there. Brennick up ahead. Picked up there by Rose. Rose east-west at the blue line. That throws a couple players off sides. Back to Schmishik. Schmishik plays it into the zone to DeFelice, and puck's played back out to center. Past the stick of Schmishik. Minute 25 here to go in the Polar Bear power play. Schmishik tries to play it up ahead to Scarlett. Picked off there by the Storm. Shot towards the net. That goes wide. Picked up near side here by DeFelice. Chipped out by Rose. Rose, she'll give chase. Shot. Saved by the goaltender. Tried to center out front. That goes off the side of the net. And Storm will look to work it back the other way. Storm played up ahead out of the reach of Schmishik. Back into the zone. Schmishik now has it. Schmishik gets the red line. Plays it in the zone. Schmishik looking for Arnold. Shot from a sharp angle and a save by the goaltender. Trying to catch a goaltender leading there. 35 seconds here to go in the Polar Bear power play. 12:44 here to go in the second period. Shots on goal now 14-5. Anilovich should take the draw. Wins it back to Suchek. Goes across to Jones. Shot towards the net. That's knocked down on the way to the net, though, by the Storm. Arena will jump up. Pick that up. Arena's got Suchek driving the net. Tries to drop. Picked up there. Arnold throws it out front. Picked off there by the Storm. They try and play it out to center. Knocked down on the way out of the zone. Now Storm will try and clear again. Up the boards. Suchek pinches there. Able to hold. Off the stick of Arnold. And puck comes out to center. Bouncing around. Back to even strength now. Anilovich able to clear it to center. That'll force the Storm to touch up. Puck's played around behind the net. Jones will go back to there to pick it up along the wall. Jones able to play it up the center to Arnold. Picked off there by the Storm. Storm play it down low. Now they work it across. Shot towards the net. And a goal by the Storm, so it's 4-0 here with 11:33 here to go in the second period. All right, Clance to take the draw. Clance has it on her backhand, stolen there by the Storm. Played across, picked up there by Brennick. Brennick will skate with it, gets the blue line. Brennick tries to drop, tries to leave for Eaton, but Eaton had vacated. So the Storm will come back the other way with it. Storm center it out front. Puck's loose in the slot. Storm work it back to the point. Shot blocked down there by Clance. Williams will give chase there. Storm regroup, play it ahead. Shot on net, saved by Nichols. And it's picked up there by Brennick. Brennick tries to play it around a player, stolen there. Picked up by the Storm. Storm triple player behind the play. It was Brennick that got tripped behind the play, but we will play on. And Storm enter the zone. They'll take it wide. Storm center it out front. Steered out of harm's way there. Picked up there now. Up ahead, out of the reach of Clance. Arena tries to play it out. Stolen there by the Storm. They walk it out front. shot off the side of the net. Schmishik down low, dugout now. Back the other way with a head of steam. Rose gets the red line, now the blue line. Shot! Blocker to side by the goaltender. Rose leaves it far side. Out of the reach of Urban, and Storm will come back the other way with it. Still in there for a moment by Jones. Played back into the zone though. DeFelice will pick it up there. DeFelice leaves it along the wall. Jones plays it up ahead to Rose. Rose able to clear it out to center. She's going to try and get a change as the Storm to look to work it back the other way. And that'll be an icing on the Storm here with 8:51 here to go second period. All right, face-off will be in the Storm zone. Foster, Anilovich, and Arnold out there. Anilovich to take the draw. Played up the boards by the Storm. Out of the reach of Foster, Anilovich steals it for a moment. Anilovich tries to work it in the zone. Foster plays it out to center. And Jones plays it right back in. Storm will have to regroup there. Puck's played out to center. Jones works it back to Arena. Arena plays it, but now it's out of the zone. Storm will play it right back in. Jones will go back there to pick it up. Up ahead to Arnold. And Storm come back the other way with it. Storm look to take it wide. Centered out front. That goes through everybody. It's going to be picked up there by Anilovich. On her backhand, tries to get it back to her forehand. Stolen there by the Storm. Storm working up the wall. Brennick jumps up into the play. Brennick works it into the slot. Brennick shot just wide. Brennick got a lot on that one, just not enough of the net. And the Storm will break it out. Storm hit the line 1-on-2. Brennick forces the player wide. Nice poke check there by Brennick to break that up. Brennick works it up ahead. Just out of the reach of Arnold. And the Storm will bring it back into the zone. They walk it back into the slot. Shot rolls in on net. Steered aside by Nichols. Played up ahead. And Arnold has it now. Arnold hits the blue line. Arnold on her backhand. Gets it back to her forehand. Shot. And a save by the goaltender. 6:56 here to go in the second. 4-0 Storm. Shots on goal 20-7 in favor of the Storm. So Quantz here with Suchek. And Eaton back to the point. Shot by Arena. That's steered aside by the goaltender. Suchek on her backhand. Tied up with a couple players there. Suchek able to get out. Back to Eaton. Puck comes up to the blue line. Jones able to hold. Eaton plays it in. And Storm will look to come back the other way with it. Now they'll work it far side. And Storm looking to break it out now. Storm play it ahead into the Polar Bear zone. Icing's waved off there. Jones leaves behind for Arena. Suchek plays it to the line, held in there by the Storm. Puck's dug out, picked up there by the Storm. Storm have it now in the slot. Shot wide of the net. Back to the point, Storm. Working side to side, kicked out there by Nichols. Puck goes to the corner, dug out there. And Suchek's able to play it ahead. But that's going to be an icing on the Polar Bears. Suchek just had a little bit too much on that one. trying to chip it around the player. 5:43 here to go, second period. Face-off coming to zone. All right, looks like Klontz here to take the draw. Dug out there by Jones. Jones works it back up the near boards. Dug out there, Williams. Williams, she'll skate with it on her backhand in front of her own net and break it out far side. Williams with a quick break out there. Oh! And Williams goes down awkwardly into the boards. Shot up high and over the net. Storm look to center it out front now. Force wide by Arena. Into the slot. Shot off the crossbar. Played down low. Jones plays it to the point. Held in by the Storm. Played across. That goes through the skates of Annalee. And played near side. Now up the center. In the skates of Arena. Arena leaves there for Annalee. Arena tries to play it in deep. Stolen there by the Storm. And I think we're going to get a penalty here. All right, too many players, we'll say, on the Polar Bears. 4:14 here to go, second period. Too many player penalty here on the Polar Bears. Looks like Annalee will serve that one. Rose, DeFelice, Brennick, and Schmishik out there to kill this penalty with 4:14 here to go in the second. Rose to take the draw. Back to the point. Played wide. Back to the point. Picked up there. Storm working at the point. They'll go D to D. Now they work it down low. Worked out into the slot. Tied up there. Played across just out of the reach of a player. And Rose with the shorthanded chance here. Rose brings in the zone, trying to use the defender as a screen. And a save by the Storm goaltender. Storm come back the other way with it. They'll take it wide. Shot towards the net. Save by Nichols. Polar Bears unable to clear though. Schmishik ties over the player there. Shot at the side of the net. Schmishik plays it up the boards. Storm keep it in. Halfway through this penalty kill. Storm now work it high to low. Now on the half wall. Storm work it out. Centered into the slot. Got the player on their backhand though, so not a huge threat there. And played out to center by DeFelice. Unable to clear it all the way down though, so the Polar Bears can get a change. Back into the zone. Forced wide by Schmishik. Storm work it high. Now it's played out of the zone. Anilovich almost with a shorthanded breakaway there. But now we're going to call it offsides here at the line. So 2:38 to go, second period. It is 4-0 Storm. Jones and Arena out there. Arnold and Anilovich. Anilovich should take the draw. Storm play it D to D. 20 seconds here to go in the penalty kill. Broken up there by Arnold. Anilovich comes back the other way. She's got Arnold driving in the net. Anilovich has it taken off her stick. And good defensive penalty kill there by Anilovich to keep that in the zone. And they'll come back the other way. Storm look to work it wide. Centered out front, and a save by Nichols. So penalty time is over. Polar Bears back to full strength. We've got a face-off in the zone here. Klontz, Eaton, and Suchek out there. Klontz to take the draw. Work back to the point. Storm play it back into the zone. Arena will go back there to pick it up. Arena up ahead to Suchek. Suchek tries to play it out. Held in there by the Storm. Shot wide of the net. Eaton can't get to the loose puck, but Arena does now. Puck goes through the crease. Jones had a player tied up out front. Suchek picks it up there. Suchek tries to play it out. Player steps up. Shot blocked down by Nichols. And now it's played out to center. Storm will regroup at center. Storm bringing it in the zone now. Now they walk it to the middle. Broken up there for a moment. Back to the point. Shot. Jones able to clear that after Nichols made the save. And up to the blue line. Now picked up by Suchek. Brought back in by Suchek, so that negates the offsides. Arena tries to play it ahead, and now they enter the zone. Shot. Off the crossbar. And it's picked up there by Arena. Suchek plays it in deep. Storm working around behind their own net. Under 20 here to go in the period. Back to the point, held in there by Jones. Storm work it up the near boards here. Brennick able to hold. Williams steps up now, and that'll do it for 2 periods of the play. At the end of 2, it's 4-0 Storm. All right, ready to get the 3rd period underway here from Joy Burns Ice Arena. All right. Williams to take the draw. Out there with Annalee. Back to Brennick. Up ahead. Off the stick of Hunt. Played ahead. Williams now into the zone. Stolen there by the Storm. Storm will look to come back the other way with it. You get the red line. Blue line onside at the line. Forced wide by Schmishik. Centered out front. Polar Bears unable to clear. Shot blocked down by Brennick. That one stung. Storm work it down low. Dugout there. And played ahead by Schmishik. Hunt has it. Hunt plays it across on the stick of Brennick. Brennick brings it in. Shot. And a save by the goaltender of the Storm. So they register their 9th shot on goal. Shots on goal 25-9. in favor of the Storm. Rose, DeFelice, Scarlett, Arena, and Jones out there on the back end. Rose here to take the draw. One there by the Storm. Storm look to start their breakout. Up ahead. Broken up by Jones. DeFelice plays over to Scarlett. Up ahead to Rose. Rose gets the blue line. Looking for a trailer. Rose drops to DeFelice. DeFelice tries to get it back to her forehand. Arena walks it in the slot. Arena tries to play it down low. DeFelice works it back to the point. Jones shot towards the net. Knocked down by the Storm. And they'll come back the other way with it. Player loose in the slot. Puck's loose in the front of the net. Broken up by the stick of DeFelice. Players kicking out along the corner. Dug out there by the Storm. Played out front. Off a stick up high and over the net. Storm will regroup there. Jones digs it out. Plays ahead to Scarlett. Puck comes out the center. Arnold with a chance here. Arnold has it just taken off her stick at the last moment by the Storm back check. And Storm will come back the other way. Player tied up there by Rose. Brennick takes it wide, tries to toe drag to the front, has it taken off her stick. Storm will come back the other way with it. Dolan leaves there for Brennick. Round behind. Arnold. Battle along the boards. Puck's played down low. It's going to be picked up there by Brennick. Brennick ties up with a player. Arnold tries to dig it out. Brennick comes out with the puck. Brennick works it up the near side to Dolan. And Dolan's able to clear. Blade ahead. Broken up there. Puck's played back out to center. Storm will regroup there. Storm off of Arnold. Arnold tries to clear. Puck does come out now. It's picked up there by Anilovich. Anilovich in the skates of Arnold. Arnold has it now. Arnold leaves there for Anilovich. Across to Dolan. Picked up there by Brennick. Brennick goes cross ice to Suchek off the bench. Suchek gets the red line, brings it into the zone. Suchek, shot just wide of the net. Anilovich jigs it out for a moment. Storm will come back the other way. All right, Clontz here to take the draw. Puck rolls in on Nichols. Clontz digs it out. They work it back to the point. Storm shot towards the net. Gloved and held by Nichols. Good glove save there by Nichols. All right, Clontz to take the draw. One there, picked up by Jones. Jones plays it around behind, out of the reach of Arena. Storm work it behind now. Now they look for that trailer in the slot. Shot and a goal. So Storm go up 5-0 here with 10-11 to go, third period. Shots on goal 31-9 now in favor of the Storm. Williams take the draw. And Storm come back the other way with it. Centered out front. Broken up there by Williams. Williams will skate with it now. Williams tries to go across. Picked off there by the Storm. Couple players collide. Centered out front. Puck's loose at the side of the net. Jones plays it up the near wall. Picked off there by the Storm. They walk it into the zone. Tie up with a player there, and puck comes back out the center. Storm will regroup now. Puck's played into the zone by the Storm. Storm looking for that trailer. A nice save there by Nichols to break that up. And Arena will pick it up there and skate with it. Hunt has it now. Hunt gets the blue line, brings it into the zone, plays it in deep. Stolen there by the Storm. They'll look to come back the other way. Storm look for that stretch pass. 3-on-1 as they hit the line. Pass across. Shot. Save there by Nichols. Great save by Nichols to keep this at 5. And played into the zone by Smishik. Smishik blows the tire. Rose comes in to pinch and hold it in. And Storm will pick it up now behind the net. Storm work at D-to-D behind the net. Now they'll look to break it up out the center. Storm get the red line. Pass goes behind at the blue line, so they're off sides at the line. Brennick steals it though. Brennick enters the zone. 1-on-4. Brennick tries to toe drag back to the middle. Stolen there. Rose plays it across now. Arnold off the bench. Arnold shot on net. Saved by the goaltender. Puck comes up the near boards now. Held in there by Brennick for a moment. Now it's stolen. DeFelice, or sorry, that's Arnold. And DeFelice in on the forecheck. And Storm able to come back the other way. Storm come down the wing. Shot saved by Nichols. Big save there. Nichols has been sharp here in the third. 7:14 here to go. Third period. Face-off will be in the Polar Bear zone. Anilovich to take the draw. One there by the Storm. They'll play it back to the point. They work at D-to-D. Shot saved by Nichols. Arnold picks it up there. Arnold able to dig it out. Puck's played back into the zone. Picked up there by Jones. Jones leaves for Anilovich. Played out front. Picked off there by Jones. Played to the boards. And Brennick will pick it up now. Brennick will pick it up. She'll skate with it. Brennick takes it wide. Fights through a hook there at center ice. Gets around one. Not able to get around the second, though, and Jones will pick that up. Jones to Anilovich. Anilovich plays it out of the zone. Picked off there by the Storm. Storm bring it back in. Yeah, but that's the right play. And played up ahead. And Storm regroup in their own zone now. Now they look to play it ahead. Pass Foster. Storm get the zone. 1-on-3 as they hit the line. They'll play it wide. Shot. Gloved and held by Nichols. Clones to take the draw. Puck's back to the point. Shot towards the net. Knocked down on the way by Clones. Out of the reach of Suchek. Storm look to pivot with their D at the line. Stolen there by Suchek. Storm pick it back up though. Storm will regroup at center. They'll try and zone enter now. They get a clean zone entry. They work it back out front. Storm pick it up now. They walk it out front. Shot and goal. So Storm go up 6-0 here. And with a 6-goal lead, we are at Clark Arena. Plays it ahead. Arena forced wide. Jones comes into support. Poked away by Nichols. Nice defensive play there by Nichols. Shot up under the bar by the Storm, and it's 7-0. Storm played into the zone. All right, work back to the point there by the Storm. Shot on net, saved by Nichols. All right, Storm, work it down. Win the draw, back to the point. Storm shot towards the net, knocked down. Hunt will give chase. Storm work it down low. Centered out front, picked off there by Brennick. Brennick now, she'll skate with it. Brennick gets the red line, tries to play it in. Hunt brings it in off sides. So we're going to face off outside the zone. Under 3 minutes here to go in the game. Brennick, Schmishik out there. Rose to take the draw with DeFelice and Scarlett. Draw one there by the Storm. Storm now play it ahead. Stolen there by Schmishik. Rose ties up. Brought out front. Players knocked down there. And DeFelice picks it up. Stolen there by the Storm. They enter the zone 1-on-2. Broken up by the stick of Brennick. Brennick plays it ahead to DeFelice. Up ahead to Rose. DeFelice has it now. Puck's loose at center. Scarlett tries to play it into the zone. Picked off there by the Storm. And Rose will pick it up. Leaves there for Brennick. Brennick will spin with it. Brennick goes across to Schmishik. Under a minute and a half here to go in the third. Storm come back the other way with it. Nice play there by Brennick to break that up. Storm work it back into the slot. Shot Up high and over the net. Shot on net and a save by Nichols. Antelope should take the draw. Tied up there. Storm work it back to the point. Storm work it far side now. Shot. Goal by the Storm. And that should do it here as it's 8-0 Storm. And that'll do it. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully.